Alright, well, first a quick look at the settings before we go run the benchmark. If I recall, I was supposed to run this on Ultra, so that's what I did. The only thing I did is I turned off motion blur. Even though I'm not playing the game, I just hate that freaking setting. Unless you're at under 60 FPS, then it can kind of hide bad frame rates. That's about all motion blur is for. But anyway, now we got that out of the way. Also, I was not informed which API to run, so we're going to do DX11 first and then Vulkan after. So let's go run that benchmark now, shall we? Okay, well, figured might as well just show the benchmark too, just for fun. That way we can see like frame times and all of that stuff. And so far, that's some really good frame times. Had an itty bitty little stutter there, but more than enough FPS. We're certainly getting more than 40 to 60 FPS. So unless maybe he's on the Vulkan, and the Vulkan runs like crap maybe. Although Vulkan usually gets more FPS than DirectX, but it's generally less smooth. So we'll see if that happens. But generally, Vulkan is the way to go on AMD. But in a game like this, I know most people who play first-person shooters care about lots of FPS, but for me, what good is the FPS if there's a stutter right as I'm about to get my crosshair in somebody's head and then I miss, you know? So I like smooth frame times more than anything for a first-person shooter type of game. Because as long as I'm getting over 60, I can aim no problem. The only time I kind of suck is when I'm forced to use a controller and have like under 60. I remember I did terrible on the Ally, on that Modern Warfare 3 open beta thing. Yeah, I'm surprised. That is some really good frame times. Huh, you can even hear the rain piddling and paddling on all the little metal of the aircraft hangar. Well, what's left of the aircraft hangar. Man, I really need to go redo my thermals again. I'm tired of seeing 89 and 90 on the GPU. It never used to get that hot. CPU's about where ROE's was for me, since I run mine completely maxed. It's always at 96. But the GPU used to max out at 86. There's some little tiny bit of some weird graphical anomalies there. Alright, cool. This probably, I think, is about the end of the benchmark. I think we go and look at this mountain and then just kind of like go back to the settings screen, or benchmark screen, rather. Okay, so we got 91 as an average, minimum of 60 and a max of 133. We got a 15,622 for a score, too, so we can compare that. Once we do the Vulkan one, here's all the settings. I got 32 gigs of RAM. I'm on 2392. He was on 2393. So maybe that is also, maybe that's a dud of a driver or something like that. Maybe that's another reason it could be running poorly. But I am on the newest driver now, so I don't know how he's ahead of me unless he's on a preview driver maybe. Anyway, now let's go and do this again with Vulkan. Okay, a quick look at the settings again just to show that we're still at 1440p on Ultra at 100% resolution scale. Just so you can see there's no funny business. I didn't lower a bunch of settings to make Vulkan seem better. If it even turns out being better, heck, for all we know, it's gonna do worse for FPS or stutterier or whatever. But let's go run the benchmark and find out. So here we go. Let's go run the benchmark real quick here. And alright, it looks like we're getting more FPS. But it looks like we're also getting slightly more stutters. So far, they're not real bad stutters, but definitely worse frame times than DirectX 11 was. But, I mean, without the little frame time graph bar thingy, I probably would not really notice so far. We'll see if there's any worse stutters than that. Okay, that one was pretty much way more noticeable than the rest. On DirectX 11, that second little stutter we saw was about the worst. But again, it's not the end of the world. But like I was saying earlier, if it's going to start stuttering really bad, then I would probably rather just use DirectX 11 and not have any stutters and take a little less FPS. Oh, there's some more graphical anomalies. I don't know if that's just the stuff rendering in or what. Okay, so far I think we can conclude Vulkan is slightly better FPS, but has a tiny bit worse frame times. It's not like the end of the world, oh my god, these frame times make the game unplayable like I was expecting, but alright, we definitely got some more, okay, we got more stutters out here than we did on Vulkan, or DirectX 11. Those ones were kind of big. Oh, more graphical anomalies too, at the same spot as before on DirectX 11. So it must just be something about the benchmark that does that. I don't think my GPU is artifacting or anything like that. Hopefully not, anyway. It is at 90C though, but that's still not even throttling speeds yet, according to the specs. The thing should throttle at 95, so we only got 5C to play with there, but I'm in a pretty cool environment, so I doubt it'll get too much hotter than that. But if I was in an unconditioned place or something like that, I don't think that'd be so good. Alright, well, we definitely got a higher score. And we got more FPS, so this time around, we got ourselves 99 FPS. Minimum of 60 again, and a max of 138, so we got like 8 more FPS. Frame score of 17 and 149. And the rest of this obviously is the same. I didn't go and change the video driver or anything. Within the like 2 seconds it took me to change over to the Vulkan thing. Well, actually, Vulkan had to warm up the shaders, which I'm assuming just means building shaders. But anyway, hopefully that is good enough. But I don't know why his is only getting 40 to 60, but there you go.